Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the personal protection PPEs selection and assessment. How do we select the right kind of equipment for the people to be comfortable in and be protective as well? So let's just have a look at this. I mean, we have got the importance of PPE selection and the assessment. So when we are talking about the proper PPE selection, assures that the workers are shielded from site hazard. We are talking about what kind of problem they're going to be facing. I mean, are we talking about the goggles, which is like nicely protected? We're talking about the helmet, which is protecting you. So the top half of you is protected in a way that if something, God forbid, hits you from the top, you're protected because of your helmet. And if it's something coming on top of your face, you're protected. Your eyes are protected because you're wearing the goggles. Then we are talking about the minimizing the danger from falling object. We are talking about, any kind of like object hazards and chemical exposure as well. So we need to understand that what kind of thing that we're looking at. So we are talking about the helmet, we are talking about the gloves, all of those kind of. So you need to understand that what exactly is required in the site you're going to be in, whether it's going to be, a construction site, whether it's going to be a chemical plant, whether it's going to be, road building environment. So you need to understand that what kind of environment you're. That's why when I said to you earlier on that, a specific site is required to understand what kind of equipment is needed to protect oneself. That is one of the reasons for that. We are talking about appropriate PPEs enhances overall worker safety and reduce the injury risk as well. So remember that when you're wearing your protective gear, it is not for fashion show. It is not to show off. It is for preventing any kind of injuries which may occur. And it's a preventive method as well. Remember that if you do not wear this, that is going to be that you are basically opening yourself for an injury to happen. So what you need to do is that you need to protect yourself. Following PPE's protocol ensures that the regulatory adherence, legal compliances as well. Now remember, all of this thing is standardized, that what the compliance is expected you to have. If you have been given equipment which does not fit in the environment that you're working in, and if there is going to be an audit or inspection from the compliance, this is the first thing they ask you, what kind of equipment was provided for their protection. And if it does not reach the standard which is required for that particular job, you are going to be in quite a big problem because you're going to incur a very big fine on this, because that goes kind of like illegal way of actually dealing with. So factor influences PPE selection by you. That would be the standard identification. What kind of hazard you're going to be facing, what kind of problem that you're going to be facing, what kind of site you're going to be working. So high hazard identification is a very important thing to have. Then you're talking about task analysis. What kind of a task you're going to be doing, whether it's going to be a welding, whether it's going to be painting, whether it's going to be using a different kind of equipment which can create a lot of dust and all of those kind of things. Then we are talking about the kind of a comparability and the comfort as well. So if you are talking about the compatibility in a sense that it is the same standard that you are using, it is like normally in UK they use that so-called the kite standard, which means that is the regulatory standard set by the government and everybody has to follow it. So all the equipment which is made under those guidance has to go through that inspection, and if they pass that inspection, only then they're allowed to be used. And the comfort of the person as well, that who is using it. If they can breathe in it, they can actually function in it without any problem. So these kind of things are very, very important. And regulatory compliance, as I said, that if it does not reach the standard, then it will not be able to function in there. And when that happens, then you are basically digging a very big hole for yourself in terms of legality and the compliance, non-compliance basically. So what exactly is doing well. How is the how to choose the right kind of PPE. And this is what you have to know, that you have to follow. Identify the hazard, where you are working, which place is that, what kind of things are required for that. So assess the risk level, that what kind of risk you're going to be facing. Then we are talking about determine the appropriate PPEs for that. For that particular function, you need to use that kind of PPEs for that. Consider comfort and fit as well for the person who's going to be using it. If you don't have this, then you're going to be in big trouble. Then we are talking about PPEs assessment method. The first one is fit testing. Here we are talking about ensuring the proper seal for PPEs. We are talking about respirators or adequate protection. Is this the right thing? Is it too loose, or the mask is too loose, or the jacket is too big, or something? I mean, if it is, or is it too tight? So these kind of things that you need to have the right fit, and for that you need to choose the PPEs for the right person. Remember that we are not just giving one standard size for everyone, because that can create a lot of problems. We are talking about performance testing. Make sure that all the PPEs are tested before it's actually been brought into the actual use, because if you don't do this, then you are basically taking substandard stuff, which is not going to be a good thing to have. Then you're talking about use feedbacks as well. The users' feedback, the people who are using it, make sure that you get the right kind of feedback from them. Are they comfortable? Are they using it? Are they using it properly? Is it at a comfort zone? They can function properly in their suit or the equipment they are using. And incorporate that feedback in for the next batch. That could be a very good thing to have, because if you don't do this, there's going to be a problem that you're going to be getting the same kind of batch for the next year without incorporating the feedback. That's not a good thing to have. I mean, if you actually look at the best practices, we are talking about involved workers. We are talking about regular review and update on every time. Then training and education, how to use the equipment, what exactly needs to be done, and document and record keeping every time you're going to be changing the equipment or enhancing it. Now, here is a kind of a chart which will give you a kind of a good understanding that what they are good at what level. And if you can actually see that, you will be able to understand the assessment criteria of the equipment you're going to be using. Thank you.